Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the show. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. It is absolutely phenomenal to have you along for the ride. Welcome in, and what a ride it has been with your Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champions. Two-time Super Bowl champions, your Philadelphia Eagles. And I just couldn't help it. And I'm going to be straight up honest with you, and just stay with me here, because this is not at all a pat myself on the back. This is not, I knew this was going to happen because I didn't know it was going to happen. But when I was breaking down this game last week, really ever since the NFC Championship game, and I thought, how do the Eagles win this game? The first thought I had was they should win this game easily. The first thought was they should win this game easily. They are the better football team. They have been the more dominant football team. They have controlled games throughout the entire season. They have been flat out dominant. Now, on the other side of things there, the Kansas City Chiefs, they had been really good this season, but they hadn't been dominant this season in terms of going through every game and dominating games, winning by 10-plus points, crushing in point differential. And that's not everything. I usually don't look at that and say, oh, that means something. Usually I'm like, who cares about point differential? It can balance out throughout a season. But when you are one of the top teams in point differential, that means that you control games. It's been one of my big points throughout all of last year when the Eagles had their collapse. It's been a big point this year to give me confidence the Eagles could actually win a Super Bowl. And I looked on the other side of the football, and I looked at the Kansas City Chiefs, and I said, they just don't dominate games. The Eagles dominate games. The Eagles are the better team. The only place that you could certainly argue, other than maybe Travis Kelce in the tight end spot, that the Eagles are far better than the Kansas City Chiefs at every position other than maybe tight end, even though Dallas Goedert's really good, and obviously quarterback, even though Jalen Hurts is really good, but he's going up against Patrick Mahomes. I said, you know what? The Eagles should win this game easily. And I even said to Derek Gunn and Ray Didinger before the game, I said, I've had to talk myself out of the Eagles winning this game handily. And I did. And this is where I don't pat myself on the back. But I say, you know what? The Eagles should win this game easily. But there's Patrick Mahomes over there. There's all that experience over there. There's no way they're going to just run all over the place on Steve Spagnuolo or throw all over the place on Steve Spagnuolo. There's no way that happens. So it's going to be a close game, and my final prediction, and the official prediction, was 28-24. Eagles win this game. Actually, I think I said 27-24. Eagles win this game. Bottom line, close. Close throughout. Most people predicted close and close throughout. And all those people were wrong, because the Philadelphia Eagles did, in fact, dominate this football game. The Philadelphia Eagles did, in fact, tell the Kansas City Chiefs and all their experience and all their winning, doesn't matter, because you're not going to beat us today. You might have beat us 2 years ago. You're not going to beat us again. The way Jalen Hurts put it after the game was, it wasn't our time then. It was our time tonight. And Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni and the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Vic Fangio and Zach Baun are Super Bowl champions. The Philadelphia Eagles have their second Super Bowl championship. Second Super Bowl championship in 8 years. After their third trip to the Super Bowl over that eight-year span. I was going over it with Ray before the show, yesterday's pregame show, and I just simply you got to go back to 1948, 1949, which we have done many times on the show. And then what Ray reminded me of was in 1947, the Eagles also went to the NFL championship. They lost, unfortunately, but they went. So it's 3 straight years, 47, 48, 49. The Eagles went to the championship. They won in 48 and 49. This right now. Oh, and they also won in 1960. So you talk about a 13-year span. That's pretty good. This is an 8-year span with 2 Super Bowl championships, 3 trips to it. And they owned every second of the game. I know there was garbage time and all that stuff, but I look at halftime. Patrick Mahomes' rating at halftime was 10. With the Eagles up 24-0. Patrick Mahomes' quarterback rating passer rating was 10. That's terrible. It was an absolute beatdown. You look at one of the best teams on third down in the NFL and the Kansas City Chiefs. They were 0 for 6 on third down in the first half of yesterday's game. Meanwhile, the Eagles were 2 for 6. On first downs, the Eagles had 13 at halftime. The Chiefs had 1. The Chiefs had one play in Eagles territory up until late in the third quarter. I mean, everywhere. This was, for me, the most dominant performance by a Philadelphia team ever. And the one team that came to mind that was like, maybe they were pretty close was the 83 76ers, who did not go faux, as Moses said. They went 4-5. They went faux, 5-4. I believe is how that one went. And then they also beat a Lakers team that didn't have James Worthy playing. So, all right, a little bit of a if James Worthy was playing, maybe it would still be that. If they did win 4-4, then maybe I'd go. But this Eagles team yesterday, considering what they were up against, considering they had lost to them once before, considering they were up against a team, not just the Kansas City Chiefs, but the Kansas City Chiefs team that was trying to go for the three-peat, and the Eagles said, not so fast. And they did it in such an incredible fashion in every facet of the game. And here's one thing. Look, I think most people looked at this game and thought, well, the Eagles, it's going to come down to whether or not Jalen Hurts can throw the football. Can Jalen Hurts throw the football? Jalen Hurts going to have to win this team a game. Jalen Hurts going to have to win this team a game, What's going to happen when Saquon's not there? Well, here's what is so incredibly brilliant, beautiful about yesterday's game. Despite the fact that in yesterday's football game, Saquon Barkley averaged, I think it was 2.3 yards per carry. 2.3 yards per carry. He ran for only 57 yards. He ran the football 25 times. Do you remember the days of abandoning the run? Do you remember the days of, it didn't work a couple of times, so we're not going to do it. Let's just forget about it. No. They kept on doing it with Saquon Barkley. Now, it might not have amounted into a lot of yards on the ground. It might not have amounted to Saquon Barkley running for a couple of touchdowns or anything like that, but it kept the Kansas City Chiefs honest. And if they were going to stop this Eagles offense, they're hell-bent on stopping Saquon Barkley. But unfortunately for them, and unfortunately, I hate to even address them, but how could you not after a game like this? Because I hate focusing on the negative when something so amazingly positive happened. So I hate focusing on Jalen Hurts haters, who I have not believed this entire time. There's not one time I haven't said anything to the contrary of Jalen Hurts, and I want him to be a quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles for the foreseeable future, 10, 15 years, 10, 15 more years of Jalen Hurts. That has been people. I see people in the comments, they're always like, you're a hater. You hate on Jalen. Just because I might not like a throw or a decision doesn't mean I've ever stopped believing that this guy could win this team a Super Bowl, which has been my stance from go. And there he was yesterday winning Super Bowl. This is where I will pat myself on the back. But throughout the season, people, there's going to come a time where Jalen Hurts has to win the game. There's going to come a time where I got to rely on Jalen Hurts right the game. And I thought yesterday was pinpoint beautiful, where they were stacking the box on Saquon. They were stopping Saquon. The Eagles kept offering the run as a threat, and when Jalen Hurts had to rattle off a run, he rattled off a run. You're talking about yesterday a 46-yard run from Jalen Hurts. I mean, absolutely. 17-yard run from Jalen. 46-yard pass was to Devontae Smith. 17-yard run by Jalen Hurts. Multiple runs in the game. 9, 10 yards. Ripping that off for you while they were making sure Saquon wasn't rattling off those runs. We're going to keep Jalen Hurts contained. You kept him contained for 6.5 yards per carry. That's 11 carries at 72 yards. That's a good day. That's a nice day for the quarterback. And then when he had to reel back and throw, 17 of 22 for a 119 passer rating. And with the garbage time even of Patrick Mahomes slinging it, he only upped his passer rating to 95.2 or 95.4. Yeah, Jalen can throw it. And here's what was, again, so picture perfect. Yesterday reminded me a lot of this season. Even in the games where Saquon Barkley was going bonkers on the ground running the football, there would come times where you had to perform on third down, on fourth down. And I'm not talking about with the old Atusha push, with the old brotherly shove. No, I'm talking about Jalen Hurts dropping back and slinging it and being on the money. And yesterday he was on the money. The deep ball, the Jalen Hurts throw to A.J. Brown that got wiped away for an offensive pass interference call, which was, I think, the moment we all went, up, here we go. We got to beat the refs too. Oh, here we go. Well, you didn't have to beat the refs really yesterday. Although I think their first touchdown was bull because no doubt in my mind, Patrick Mahomes was over the line of scrimmage when he threw that football. So that should have been called back, illegal forward pass. And then Brandon Graham got held, an obvious hold on a pressure, and that ended up being the first touchdown of the game. Yeah, I think that was the first touchdown of the game to the Chiefs. So the Eagles didn't have to beat the refs yesterday. They had beaten the Chiefs already. Maybe the refs helped the Chiefs get back into it. Or not get back into it, but get something going to wipe away a shutout by Vic Fangio's defense. But Jalen Hurts throughout the game yesterday was on the money. Dallas Goedert over the middle. A.J. Brown down the sideline. And how about even that decision to go for it on that 4th and 3, 4th and 4, or 4th and 2 it was, in the first quarter where they threw it on the money to A.J. Brown. That was insane. And then all throughout this game, Jalen Hurts was just dotting I's. It reminded me of what he has done all season long. This is not just a Super Bowl thing. This is what Jalen Hurts has done all season long. When they have had to rely on his arm, he has stepped up. And one of the things that kept on rattling around in my brain, especially in the second half, was Zach Bond after the NFC Championship game. When Zach Bond said that this is where we're supposed to be. How's it feel to be headed to the Super Bowl? It feels like this is where we're supposed to be. And I can't get over the overwhelming sense of comfort I've had over the last 2 weeks where there was no big drop. There was no horrendous play call. There was no excessive missed field goals to the point of, thinking you're going to lose a game. There was no awful call that went the direction or went in favor of your opposing team, whether it was the Packers or Commanders or Rams. No, there was no call like that made you feel like, oh, here we go, we're going to lose. No, the Eagles dominated. Were there instances where it was a little too close for comfort? Yeah, sure, there was moments like that, but not because of any horrendous play. And anytime there was, they had an answer. And because they had played so well throughout the regular season, and because they had set that standard for themselves, I couldn't help but have that same kind of comfort throughout the season. And my favorite part of watching the game yesterday, and just to set this up, it was a dream. It was an absolute dream. And I've known these guys for a long time now. Ray, I've known the longest. Ray, then Gunnar, and then Seth. But Ray, I've known coming up to 20 years now, which is insane to think about. Ray was sitting to my left. Gunnar was on my right, watching the game. Seth's behind me. And at halftime, Ray looks at me, and he just goes, Mark, is this really happening? It's 24-0. And I just looked at it. I was like, yeah, Ray. Hey, this is happening. 24-0, halftime of the Super Bowl. Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, Vic Fangio, Zach Bond, Saquon Barkley, the whole roster are leading the Kansas City Chiefs. And this ain't a 10-point lead at the half like it was in the previous Super Bowl matchup. This was an unbelievable 24-0 stomping of the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the most dominant performance I've ever seen from a Philadelphia sports team. I mean, consider the stage, championship game. Consider the opponent. And consider how both sides of the football played. 33 points with your offense. A pick 6 in this game from Cooper to Gene. Another interception by Zach Bond. One of the big questions was, when did you know you're going to win? When did you know the Eagles were going to win this game? When did you know that the Eagles were going to be Super Bowl champions for a second time? For me, it was the Zach Bond interception. I mean, here's I'll take you through my growing level of confidence in this game. Eagles on the 4th and 2 complete the play to A.J. Brown, but they get it wiped away for the pass interference. Oh, boy, here we go. At least, I mean, that was a great throw by Hurts. That's a good sign, right? He's on the money. That's a good sign. I'll take a positive out of that, but unfortunately it's negated. Then the ball goes to the Kansas City Chiefs on 3rd and 9. Milton Williams, Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter get huge pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Ball goes back to the Eagles. You get Dallas Goedert for 20 yards. McDuffie comes up with that, I think it was a pass interference call. Dotson goes 27 yards. That was a beautiful throw by Jalen Hurts as well. Gets it to the 1-yard line. And then a push. And the Eagles are up 7-0 in the Super Bowl. Then the ball goes back to the Kansas City Chiefs. There we go. They go to 3 and out, just like that. And on the 3rd down, I believe it was 3rd and 9, Patrick Mahomes drops back. He's got a clean pocket, and he's surveying the field, and he's doing this. He's patting the football, and then he's got a throw. No, he doesn't have a throw. And he pulls it down, and then he scrambles around a little bit, and he gets nothing out of it. That was a play where I went, oh, they might have old Patty Mahomes in a little bit of a pretzel. Oh, no. He doesn't know what they're doing. Is he confused? He might be confused. He's probably confused. I went, all right, that's one series. They've had the ball twice. They haven't done anything with it, so this is good. They've got 1 first down and 2 possessions. All right, this is looking good. Eagles get the ball back after that. You have the unfortunate Johnny Wilson drop. Jahan Dotson gets a 15-yard reception. Hurts rattles off a 9-yard run that they called. They get sacked, but they negate the sack because of a flag. At the end of the first quarter, up 7-0. Kansas City had only run 7 plays at that time. Eagles run that 3rd and 10 play. It's an interception down there at the around the goal line, around the I think it was the 12. So that goes down. Then another the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the one where Patrick Mahomes threw at the feet of a wide open Travis Kelce. And I went, oh boy, he is off his mark. And they're in his cage. Vic Fangio and this Eagles defense. Jalen Carter, liberties there with Patrick Mahomes, by the way. They are in his head. No question about it. So they waste their possession on the interception off Jalen Hurts. And then on a 3rd and 7, when the Eagles get the ball back, A.J. Brown goes 22 yards on a 3rd and 7 on an on-the-money throw from Jalen Hurts. They have to settle for the field goal. They're up 10-0. Then this is where I started brimming with confidence. Patrick Mahomes gets sacked by Josh Sweat for a 4-yard loss. Then he gets sacked by Jalix Hunt, for crying out loud. Jalix Hunt and Josh Sweat get in on the sack. And then Patrick Mahomes gets picked off by Cooper DeJean, who returns it for the pick 6. Eagles are now up 17-0 after a pick 6. Now, only in the second quarter. You're still feeling pretty good about everything. Patrick Mahomes can come back from 17-0. He can still come back from 17-0. There's 7 minutes and 16 seconds left in that second quarter. Patrick Mahomes still has plenty of time. The Chiefs get the ball back. Another 3 and out. This time, Milton Williams coming up with the huge, ginormous sack. Eagles get the ball back. They end up having a punt. At this point, their defense is so unbelievably in control. They had pressured Patrick Mahomes on the limited amount of times by this point. 47% of his throws were under pressure, which I thought was a little low. But either way, the Eagles have to punt. Chiefs get the ball back. And almost immediately, Zach Bond picks off Patrick Mahomes. Second interception. And then bang, bang, boom, A.J. Brown is in the end zone, and the Eagles are up 24-0. That was the moment where I went, oh, my God, they're going to do this. There's like even 24-0. I don't care who you are. Like Tom Brady was in the building. Good for him. He's got the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history, 28-3, blah, blah, blah. We all know what happened against Falcons all those years ago, or years ago. But the Eagles just didn't stop being in control. Kansas City, after they got the ball back, after the Eagles had to punt, Patrick Mahomes throws it over the middle of the field to Zach Bond, who makes a great diving catch on the play. He gets the interception. It was one play with 1:49 left in the first half. The Eagles then get the ball back. Jalen Hurts has a little run for 2 yards, and then for 12 yards, he hits A.J. Brown for the touchdown. And you're up 24-0. They're going to win the game. Okay, you have the long halftime. We referenced on this show, and I heard Rex Ryan talking about it 2 weeks ago, about how the NFC or the conference championship games are the last real football games of the season, because everything else after that is a show, where you got 2 weeks of talking about the Super Bowl. You have 1 week where everyone's getting interviewed every day. Every day you're getting interviewed. You're having a press conference. You have a media session. Oh, we get time to practice? That's cool. And then you got to play the football game. And then even when you start the football game, you still got like a 45-minute halftime show you got to worry about. Slightly exaggerated. And then when you get to the second half, you're finally actually playing football. Again. The Kansas City Chiefs could have had a 2-hour halftime, and they still would have been able to crack the code on what Vic Fangio was doing on the success of the defensive line. I mean, you're talking about Milton Williams and Josh Sweat, 2 guys that are due to get paid this offseason. And they were dominant. Simply dominant in this game. Eagles get the ball, the Kansas City Chiefs get the ball coming out of halftime. Jordan Davis comes up with a sack. Josh Sweat comes up with another sack. Eagles get the ball back after they punt. 3rd and 5. Hurts has a keeper, rattles off 16 yards. Then after that, he had a 14-yard run. Barkley gets a 22-yard reception down the sideline on a throw that was on the money from Jalen Hurts. They have to settle for the field goal, 28-yard field goal. It's 27-0. By the way, on that drive, 12 plays, 6 minutes, 42 seconds, 69 yards. Nice. 27-0 now in favor of the Eagles. Avonte Maddox gets a big stop there on a 4th down play to break that up. On 4th and 5, Avonte Maddox steps up and makes a play on the ensuing Kansas City Chiefs possession. Goes back to the Eagles, and after Avonte Maddox broke that up, Jalen Hurts, 1 play, 46 yards down the middle of the field to Devontae Smith on a throw that was absolutely on the money. Eagles are now up 34-0. Then they get their touchdown at the end of the 3rd quarter. Eagles are up 34-6. Eagles get another field goal on a 10-play, 40-yard drive. I mean, everything that I can't get over how much everything was just cooking yesterday for the Philadelphia Eagles. And one of my favorite things, check this out, Jalen Hurts after the game. Look at that smile. This is when a reporter was asking him about all the struggles he's had in his career. Benched in a national championship game, losing a national championship game, getting benched and then they win the national championship, getting drafted not in the 1st but in the 2nd round, after having to go to Oklahoma, getting drafted in the 2nd, not the 1st round, sitting behind Carson Wentz, starting for Carson Wentz being a backup in yesterday's game. Pretty amazing. Getting an opportunity to start his first full year as a starter, taking his team to the playoffs. 2nd full year as a starter, taking his team to the Super Bowl. MVP runner-up to the guy that he just beat yesterday in the Super Bowl. The interceptions, the turnovers. We did 30 turnovers in 21 games for Jalen Hurts. And then yesterday, for all the people that doubted him, for even Nick Saban, who I'm sure he still loves, I guess, benching him in the national championship game. All the rumors about trading for Russell Wilson or signing Russell Wilson or trading for Aaron Rodgers or trading for Deshaun Watson. This is the smile of a man who's been through some stuff. And he has come out the other side smelling like roses. And though a lot of people, unfortunately, focused on the stats and the numbers. I think every Philadelphia fan, even if you've been a hater of Jalen Hurts, look, which I don't know how he could be, but here's a guy that just won this team a Super Bowl. Only the second in the franchise's history. He has played in 2 Super Bowls already. Everything this guy says, every way he conducts himself, I find him insanely easy to root for. And in today's game, in this day and age, people, you have a quarterback of your football team that doesn't give a damn about his own numbers, that doesn't try to shoehorn himself in. Oh, all this great success with Saquon Barkley in this offensive line, but I got to make sure I get at least 250 today. I got to make sure I'm slinging it. I got to get my 2 touchdown passes. I got to get my 4 touchdown passes. No, he says, and this is what you should dream about. What is the best way to have success on this play? With what this defense is doing, and oh yeah, he's reading the defense. With what this defense is doing, what's the best way to exploit this? Oh, a handoff to Saquon Barkley, 60 yards, touchdown. Let me check down to that. What's the best way to attack this? Oh, I got AJ on a slant. Let me check down to that. Or the play we have is appropriate. Don't have to check out anything. And I know I'm going to have Devontae Smith down the middle of the field. I know I'm going to have this great rub route coming up here with Dallas Goedert going across the middle. And Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown bringing their guy across the middle. All of a sudden, a little rub route. Next thing you know, you got 30 yards downfield. If the situation calls for him to be the star of a given play, of a given series, then he'll do it. But if it doesn't, if the defense is dictating something different, then he'll get out of it. Egoless football. You might call it keeping the main thing the main thing. How do you not love that? I stand by what I said before he won a Super Bowl. I stand by what I've said throughout this year. I want this guy to be the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback for as long as humanly possible. And people look at how great Saquon was. Oh, Saquon was great, and he was. But as my point has been throughout this year, because Saquon has been on another level of human. I don't even think he's been human. And Superman probably would have said it, as A.J. Brown would say. I mean, let your cape out, Superman. Just because he has been so great, Saquon has been so great, does not mean that Jalen Hurts just sucks. That's never been my take on it. I know it's been other people's takes on it. They might not realize it, but it's been their take. I don't want anybody else to be the Eagles quarterback than Jalen Hurts. We've gone through drama. We've gone through people not keeping the main thing, making their own thing the main thing when it shouldn't be the main thing. And when Jalen Hurts held up that Lombardi trophy, even more than a MVP trophy, when Jalen Hurts held up the the Vince Lombardi trophy, when he held that up, all I saw on that Lombardi trophy was just a big fat sign that just said the main thing. This is what it is, the main thing right here. I don't know why you'd want anybody else to be the Eagles quarterback than Jalen Hurts, especially now. I mean, I felt that way for a long time. I even said through the playoffs, there's like one guy that you're for sure. Oh, Patrick Mahomes. Then there's everybody else. And so help me God, if there's a list that comes out in this offseason that has Justin Herbert above Jalen Hurts, oh, mamma mia, my head will explode. The mindset and mentality of this guy is just off the charts. It's amazing. And the selflessness of his game, the egoless nature of his game, the smarts of his game, and the ability of his game. It was all on display yesterday. And that's why when you talk about his numbers and about the chance of, oh, I'm terrified that Jalen Hurts is going to cost this team a Super Bowl, I didn't have that. Even after his interception, I didn't feel that way. A 119 passer rating in the Super Bowl. And I honestly was rooting for him to win MVP. Josh Sweat had a great game, 2.5 sacks. I think is what it was his total yesterday. 2.5 sacks for Josh Sweat. 2 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits. Eagles in total, 11 quarterback hits in this game. 6 sacks. 2 by Milton Williams, half sack to Jalen Hurts, sack to Jordan Davis. Excuse me. I mentioned Milton Williams, yeah. Unreal. But to see Jalen Hurts go out there yesterday and play at the level that he played, I was like, you can't have an argument. If your argument is that Jalen Hurts sucks, you're just wrong. Like the evidence is mounting. And I'm like, what would be the argument? Because you try to think about, okay, what's the counter argument? Because it can't be this right. It can't be this accurate that he was that good. No, he was that good. So what's the counter argument? Well, Fangio is really the MVP. Well, yeah, he was great, but it's most valuable player. Josh Sweat was great. Yeah, he was great. He had 2.5 sacks. The other guy had 3 touchdowns. That's pretty damn good. 3 touchdowns. 2 through the air, 1 on the ground. That's pretty damn good. And a 119 passer rating for a guy that apparently can't throw. That's pretty amazing. The interception, I will say this, the interception there was a miscommunication there. I'm not blaming that. It was a bad throw. I guess he thought the pressure got to him faster than he thought it would, but that was a bad throw, bad decision. And horrible communication there at the line of scrimmage with, I think it was Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson. I'm sorry, Mekhi Becton would have been on that side. But absolutely unbelievable. But throughout this game, I never felt like, man, the Zach Bond interception and then the touchdown to A.J. Brown is what really made me go, oh, my God, they're going to win the Super Bowl. And I still, growing up in an era where that just wasn't a thing, I'm going to cherish this forever. And I unfortunately wasn't home with the kids and the missus and all that stuff. I was working, obviously, but I was going to ask my wife, I was like, you got to make sure at least Emanuela is up to watch this game. Because you never know. You never know what's going to happen. What a phenomenal opportunity. I can't take her to the parade. There's going to be school. I can't do that. But the city's going to get another parade. And what I took away from the Phillies winning in 2008 and the Eagles winning in 2017, 2018, was this is really what it is. This is what it's all about. I mean, what else is going to unite the city in great jubilation? Nothing. This is what is so amazing about sports. And I had a conversation somewhat recently with my nephew, who's off the charts brilliant, this kid, but he's getting into sports and all that stuff. And he's like, so wait, if the Eagles win, what do we get? And I'm like, what, are you looking for something in your bank account? Are you looking for some prize to show up, some toy to show up on your doorstep? Like, no, what we get is an overwhelming sense of pride in the community that our city was represented by a champion. And this team is in your blood. I think about when the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017, 2018. I think of like a lot of people. You think about somebody that was there a long time that didn't get to see it. For me, I thought about my cousin Joey. My dad's cousin Joe. I knew him as cousin Joey. He was a season ticket holder at 700 level. Would tell me stories about pulling up rope to bring cases of beer up to the 700 level, And when they won, that was the first person I thought of. How many people I've talked to that have thought about their dads, their moms, their aunts, their uncles, their cousins, their best friends that weren't there to experience it. Here's 2 Super Bowl championships in an 8-year span. This is an overwhelming sense of pride for me, for the city of Philadelphia, for a fan base that I root for above anything else, above any team. I root for what's best for the fan base. And to give you guys, for the Eagles, to give you guys another parade, another celebration, for all of us to get together with happiness. Oh, the pictures on Broad Street last night were fantastic. It's an emotional thing to think about. And that's ultimately what we're rooting for throughout the entire time, is that we all get together and have this party. And I remember that clicked because, my father and my older relatives, older friends have told me about, the Flyers parades, the Sixers parade, the Phillies parade. Like for a city, the early 80s were pretty damn good. The Super Bowl appearance, NBA championship, Phillies championship. That's pretty great. Flyers were great, but they didn't win in the 80s. They won in the mid-70s. So you talk about 1976 to 1983 through 1983. That's a pretty nice run. For a city, this is as close as you'll probably get to that. But this is I still can't get over it. 2 Super Bowl championships that I have seen. That's not supposed to happen. Vic Fangio was brilliant yesterday. Zach Bond was incredible yesterday. Milton Williams. I was really going through it yesterday, and what it all came back to was Howie Roseman. The most incredible offseason that led to an absolutely incredible regular season. To use Zach Bond's words, did what it was supposed to do. They went to the Super Bowl, and they won the Super Bowl. When the Eagles got Saquon Barkley, I did not understand the people that thought it was a bad move. I'm like, is this just such an obvious great move that people want to be the contrarian and just say it's going to be terrible? This is stupid. Just so in the off chance, like for instance, I remember when the Eagles got T.O. Merrill Hodge, the old Steeler and ESPN analyst, was like, this isn't going to work out. This isn't going to work out for the Eagles. Getting T.O.? Oh, man. Basically, what he predicted was what happened in the second year of T.O. He predicted it to happen in the first year of T.O. with no success. Instead, the opposite of that happened, where the first year was incredible and everything else was pretty awful. But just be the contrarian, just say, I told you so. I hate that. And I felt like when the Eagles got Saquon Barkley, there was a little bit of that Merrill Hodgeness going around, where it's like, okay, this is obviously a great move because everyone knows how great Jeff Stoutland is and how great that offensive line is going to be, but he's a running back. You don't spend money on a 27-year-old running back. Well, you do if you can finally put him behind this kind of offensive line. And I've told you guys many times, when the Eagles did acquire him, when they did sign him, I just stared at my phone for probably a good 30 seconds to a minute with probably the dumbest facial expression, the most dumbfounded facial expression you could have. But I didn't expect, I don't know if I expected 2,000 yards for Saquon Barkley, but I expected a huge season. I didn't expect anything from Zach Bond. I didn't expect anything from Nolan Smith. I was optimistic about Quinyon Mitchell. I was optimistic about Cooper DeJean. The only question I had about Cooper DeJean was, you had that linebacker right there, Edgerrin Cooper. You had him right there. I still want Cooper DeJean, and they're obviously optimistic to trade up for him, confident in his abilities. What are they going to get? And they got everything. The biggest disappointment was Bryce Huff, but nobody cares because everybody else was so dominant. It's really amazing. So I thought about all the success of Howie Roseman, how he hit on everything. I also went back and I thought about 2017, 2018, how deep that team was. That's one of the most impressive, deepest rosters ever assembled in the NFL. What Howie Roseman put together in the 2017 season to win that Super Bowl, and winning with a backup quarterback. I mentioned the name again, Halapulavati Vaitai being your starting left tackle in that game for Jason Peters, who went down against the then Redskins there at Lincoln Financial Field. Darren Sproles not being able to play. Corey Clement comes up and plays at an extremely high level in that Super Bowl. I mean, everybody, it's a whole team. It's unbelievable. And then you think about this roster. And you think about the starting 11. You think about a guy like the guys that had to be the next man up. Nolan Smith, Howie Roseman draft pick. Oren Burks, great pickup there, Howie. Stepping in for Nakobe Dean. But Nakobe Dean was even playing at a high level this year. Just looking around. Mekhi Becton, take a shot of him at right guard. Works out pretty well. I am beside myself with how incredible, absolutely incredible, this roster turned out. Could not have been better. Literally, they won the Super Bowl. And Howie is the architect of two incredible football teams. And then you go one step above, and you think about Jeffrey Lurie buying this team in 1994. Go to one Super Bowl following the 2004 season. All the drama that surrounded that one, all the success you had with Andy Reid, up and with the exception of rattling off conference championship wins, got to a lot of them, didn't win them, won one of them. Getting to the Super Bowl, not winning it, not going back with Andy Reid, going through the Chip Kelly years, hitting the reset button after that, thanks to Howie Roseman, bringing in Doug Peterson, winning the Super Bowl, bringing in Nick Sirianni, getting back to a Super Bowl 5 years later with a different head coach and a different quarterback, and then getting back 2 years later to win it. What a run. What an amazing run. I don't have a lot of sound for you guys.
Well, that's pretty dope.
But I do have a couple of things that I want to get into. And that's Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts yesterday, I've mentioned the 119 passer rating, which is pretty nice. 17-22 for 221 yards with an interception, 2 touchdowns through the air, 1 touchdown on the ground. He was asked yesterday about coming into the game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Did he have a feeling that he knew he would have to throw the football to win it? And that he have a feeling he'd be able to throw the football well to win the game?
It was just something that kind of came. It was something that kind of came. I just think it's something that kind of came. We just was able to execute. And I think the main thing I'll point to is you being able to find ways to win in multiple ways. We've been able to be dominant on the ground. We've been able to be efficient in the pass game and do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. And I think over the course of our year, you guys have heard me say it, just because we don't doesn't mean we can't. And when you hear a statement like that, I think it always comes down to, what is your mission? And why are you doing this? I'm doing it to win. I do it to win. This team approaches it just to do the same thing, and that's what it's about. I'm not going to look back at anything and remember anything that someone said about me or an opinion that was had. I'm going to think about the championships that we won.
Let me make sure I got this right. Just because we didn't doesn't mean we can't. I love you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love you. I love you. How do you not want this guy to be your quarterback for like 15 more years? Just because we didn't doesn't mean we can't. That's the I don't know any better way to describe the season that Jalen Hurts just had. Individually, just speaking about him individually, with all the people that was out, Saquon's so great. Jalen's in the sidecar. That argument, Jalen's in the sidecar. Well, yeah, you got Saquon Barkley. I have said throughout this entire season, growing up in the Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith era and knowing the argument of, if Barry Sanders was behind Emmitt Smith's offensive line in Dallas, what would he do? This is that. This is as close to that as we'll ever get. And it proved throughout that. 2,000 yards, for crying out loud, people. Nobody's ever rushed for more yards in the regular season and playoffs combined, more than Saquon Barkley has. Record. Incredible. That doesn't make me look at Jalen Hurts and go, well, he sucks now because this is so great. I make the comparison. You're going into battle. There's a sword and a dagger. Okay? I said that real Philadelphia. Dagger. There's a... What are you going to take? You're going to take the sword. But that dagger works pretty well, too. Jalen was the dagger this year. In this Super Bowl, though, he had to be the sword. It was unreal. And throughout the season, I think that's a great way to sum it up. Just because they didn't mean they couldn't. They could throw it if they needed to. Jalen could win a game if he needed to. It wasn't going to have to be all Saquon. 25 runs for him and just 57 yards for Saquon Barkley, 2.3 yards per carry. Longest run of the night was 10 yards. 10 feet. That'd be terrible. 10 yards. He still had 90 yards total because he had 97 yards total because he had 40 yards through the air. 6 catches. I didn't have that on my stat sheet. Excuse. But yeah, absolutely unbelievable. How about the journey? This is where he talks about the journey. Look at the smile on this guy's face as people are rattling off to him. Hey, remember all those times you failed?
That kid always kept the main thing the main.
All the times you failed, still kept the main thing the main.
That kid always kept the main thing the main thing, and always was true to his vision and what he saw. And it all began with great leadership. Really began with really just doing it the right way, trying to do it the right way and do the right things, and kind of went into a set the example type of thing. And you know, I give a lot of credit to my parents in that, just putting the type of work ethic in me that they have. And like I said, it's only the beginning until it's the end, and the end ain't coming anytime soon.
Oh, the end ain't coming anytime soon. Oh, keep talking, baby. Keep talking. He's been through it. I mean, is this not what we love in Philadelphia? Whenever you're an underdog, whenever people have counted you out, and then you keep rising up, and you keep rising up, and you keep getting better, and you keep getting better. Here was my favorite thing that he said from last night. Here's my favorite thing. It's been well documented. He even told Aaron Andrews about it before the game, during the broadcast. He's doing the pre-taped interview. They're sitting down, all comfy chairs, and he's talking about the NFC Championship game. He goes, Jalen Hurts says, you know who the first two people popped up on my phone to congratulate me for winning the NFC Championship? You know the first two people who popped up? Michael Jordan and Derek Jeter. I real quick tweeted that out. I went out and posted that. People seem to like it. And my favorite responses to it were Eagles by 1,000, that kind of thing. And I gotta tell you, that's the feeling I had. You got Michael Jordan reaching out. You got Derek Jeter reaching out. It's 11 championships between the two of them. And they're reaching out to Jalen Hurts. Hey, business or not, Jordan brand or not, that's pretty special. But all these people that have counted Jalen Hurts out or doubted him, said he's not the guy. Is he the guy? He's not the guy. Oh, he's the guy. He's the guy with the MVP trophy in his hands and Lombardi trophy, more importantly. Yeah, I'd say he's the guy. But during that interview, he also got asked about his lock screen or his screensaver on his phone. Was him walking off the field with the red and yellow confetti falling from the sky when the Eagles lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs 2 years ago. Take a listen to this back.
Hi, Jalen. Congratulations. So your phone screensaver has been you seeing the confetti drop from the Chiefs.
And when I think about that wouldn't even post it. I told them I'm going to start finding their ass in there. They have their phones out in the team meeting,
But are you going to change it now that you have pictures of yourself in the confetti winning?
I don't know. Maybe it's something I need to stay there so I can come back here.
Yeah. Did you hear that? That lock screen ain't going anywhere. Maybe he's going to keep it the same so he gets back to the Super Bowl. Here's one thing. I would never imagine Jalen Hurts' lock screen to be him holding up the Lombardi trophy. I sure as hell wouldn't expect Jalen Hurts' lock screen, to be a Super Bowl, to be a Super Bowl MVP trophy in his hands. I would always expect it to be something that puts the quarter in the machine, something that keeps the hamster on the wheel in the head to keep it going, keep that motivating factor going. And I don't think that's something that you really have to worry about with Jalen Hurts that he's ever going to lose. This is just how he is. This is just how he's wired. My second favorite thing from yesterday that didn't have to do with any play on the field was Nick Foles coming in from the top rope on Tom Brady. Hey, look, it's just extra added fun. Nick Foles, I thought this was fake. Somebody sent this to me, and I had to go to Nick Foles' account to make sure this was real. Nick Foles on social media yesterday. It's really cool that Tom Brady got to be there for the Eagles' 2 Super Bowl wins. He might be a good luck charm. Have a great night. Oh, it warms my heart. Carson Wentz has also been at both Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl victories and he really didn't have to lift a finger. How about that? What a ride. What an absolute ride. Right, Vic Fangio? Actually, this would be more appropriate for Vic Fangio yesterday on what he was cooking up for Patrick Mahomes.
Well, that's pretty dope.
Damn right it is. Let me tell you about the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code FARS, and you get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Want to go to the game, the concert, the comedy show? Game Time app has it covered. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code FARS, you get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. And how about the Game Time Picks feature? My wife and I just used this to buy tickets to the little Encanto. And the other thing, what was the other thing there? Frozen? Just there to buy tickets for the kids for that on the Game Time app. Use the Game Time Picks feature. That filters out all the fluff, so you get right down to it. The best seats at the best prices on the Game Time app. And use Game Time Picks feature on the Game Time app to get down to brass tacks, best seats for the best prices on the Game Time app. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code FARSY, you get $20 off your first purchase. Also take advantage of the Game Time guarantee. If you find tickets in the same section and same row for less money elsewhere, the Game Time app will refund your account 110% of the difference on the Game Time app. How about PHL Sports Nation? Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. How about our friends over there at Sky Motor Cars? SkyMotorCars.com. Check out Brett's amazing inventory at SkyMotorCars.com. Let's get into the chat check. Ross and Found, new member. Welcome to the party. Nice to see you. Wine Niners Wine. Supplier Bowl. All right. What's happening, Sean? Now you're making me think that I misspelled something. Cannot believe how dominant the Eagles are. 40-6 with the starters. How about that? You know, haters will say, well, you know, Hurts got benched in the fourth quarter for Kenny Pickett. They won't say that. I don't think they're that stupid. Anyway, Sean, hello again. Sean Leslie. Farzy looks like the British actor Mark Strong, though happier. British actor Mark Strong. Wait, was that the bad guy in Robin Hood? Now I'm gonna have to do this, otherwise I'm gonna be distracted because I'm a big fat idiot and I can't be. Yeah, that's it. I like that dude. He needs a beard. He doesn't got a beard, and he spells his name with a K. Whatever. Garbage time touchdowns in the Super Bowl, right? Isaiah, what's going on? Fly Eagles fly. Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Body 316. What's happening? Devontae, don't underestimate our QB1. Jalen Alexander MVP Hurts. Love it. That was a mugging. It absolutely was. I already got newspaper, and the frame is ordered. That's great. Everyone's saying good morning to the champs. Jason Martinez, what's going on? Martinez, Fly Eagles fly. Luke Skylifter, we did it. Farzy, we did it. Brian, we did it. Mullet Alvarado, we are the champions. That Hurts commercial at the end was cold. I didn't see it. I was on set already, unfortunately. Jason, wow, the team was all about their business. They absolutely were. Faye Tal, very great name. Fly Eagles fly. Tampa Eagle, the main thing is the only thing. Go Eagles. We the People News Network. All right. Talk about dominating another team from both sides of the football. This win is simply ridiculous and absolutely bleep and love it. Great win, men. Absolutely. Farzy, I thought you wouldn't do the show this morning. What? What are you talking to a Super Bowl show? Are you insane? Sean Gillespie, what's going on? Cast of the Chiefs. Dylan, what's happening? Mullet, Sean, hello. Kevin, what's going on, Kevin? Morning, everyone. We are Super Bowl champions again. Let's go. Legend killers, absolutely. William Stark, what's going on? Good morning, Farzy. Eagles. Mike, this defense is amazing. We're going to extend ball and try to get Sweat back. Absolutely. Northeast Sports, good morning. Jay looks Hunt, excellent. Oh, yeah, on the back of Cooper's pick 6 was pretty awesome. Shayna Moon, they dominated the entire game. I love this team. I'm smelling a dynasty in the making. Oh, Shayna, I hope so. I really hope this is the new norm. Hurts composure after a win, no doubt. Go Sixers, what's going on? Ooh, Sixers suck. April, what's going on? April, Super Bowl! Eagles are 2-0 with Wentz on the bench. Like elf on a shelf. That Jalen commercial thing. I haven't seen it. I got to go back and watch it. April, Mark, have you slept at all? 90 minutes? I got 90 minutes. I tagged up, as I like to say it. Jordan Reese, what's going on? It's crazy because never in my life did I think would ever witness and watch my team win a Super Bowl, and for that to happen was a blessing. For it to happen the second time, I'm speechless. Oh, yeah. David. Oh, yeah. Geldner. Last night. Oh, this morning? Oh, dude. Yeah, exactly. Buddy Christ. Blessings, MVPs, Vic and Jalen, and all Philly fans, Super Bowl champs. Sean Kilbray, good morning. Brian, cheers. Today should be a national holiday. It absolutely should. Pure Dominance is Sean Kilrain. Belt to Ass. I saw that by Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. That was great. Tommy Tom. Gritty City Sports. Congrats to all in the chat. Thanks for the early morning coverage, Farzy. Thank you, Gritty. Appreciate it. T-Will was popping, brother. The defense was the main story, but the Chiefs sold so hard on Barkley. Hurts, his boys were able to slice him up. Yeah. T-Will, you're a bad boy, Farzy. That's funny. In fact, dual threat quarterbacks can win a Super Bowl. How about that, Brian? Huh? Nino Brown, good morning. No one can take away the accomplishments of this year. The narrative can no longer be about how quarterback one isn't capable. Damn right. Super Bowl MVP kind of nullifies that. Gary A., that was the best defensive performance I can remember in a Super Bowl. Pretty amazing. April BDN is cold. Yes, he is. James Alexander, good morning. Battle made Bainbridge. What's going on? Foles is a killer. Again. You guys are great. Loki, what a name. It was classic Big Andy, all flustered and abandoning the run. Time's yours, Farzy. We did it, dude. We did it. Damn right, Loki. Forget about it. What's happening? These last two games had a feeling like no other Eagles history. How about that? Mahomes' face early was confused. Utterly confused. We don't need Garrett. Let me tell you this, Loki. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Mekhi Becton, Zach Bond, Josh Sweat, and Myles Garrett were Philadelphia Eagles by the still Philadelphia Eagles next year. Wait, there's one more. Unapologetic. I didn't get to him. What's up? That was an ultimate statement game. We beat the champs to become the champs. Now put some respect on the Eagles. Go Birds, Super Bowl champs. Hell yeah. Lisa Wicks. What's up, Lisa Wicks? Good morning, all from Phoenix. Hello, Lisa. I'm out here in Arizona cheering on Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. I barely slept. Good for you. You guys are great. Thanks for everybody. Oh, Dev, Kellen Moore. Yeah, how about that? Let's run it back. I hope so. Hey, everyone in the chat, thank you so much. Everyone who has joined me throughout this football season, thank you so much. Everyone that joined me on the Seth Joyner Show YouTube channel with Derek Gunn, occasionally having Ray Dininger, and working with Seth Joyner again for another football season. I've worked with Gunner for now 6 straight football seasons. I've worked with Seth Joyner now 4 out of the last 6, or 5 out of the last 6. And Ray, we were at WIP at the same time, and I was a producer for Ray and Glenn Macnow from Slack's Hoagie Shack. Oh, man. To be on a panel with those gentlemen throughout this season, thank you for all the people that joined us on that. That was a dream. That was a dream come true. It was absolutely incredible. And for it to end with the Super Bowl cast with the 4 of us together on that panel, wow. It's been one hell of a ride, speaking personally now. To have you guys along for that, for you guys to support it, for you guys to support me here on the Farzy Show. Wow. Absolutely incredible. Philadelphia, you earned this. You've been through a lot as a sports fan. If you're a Philadelphia sports fan, to have a run like this, and like Jalen Hurts said at the end of his press conference yesterday, it's only the beginning, that kind of thing. Let's make sure that's the case. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I will be on Fox 29 later today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day celebrating this victory, not just for every second of today, but for every day of the future. The Philadelphia Eagles put an absolute beat down on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Vic Fangio could not have had a better game plan. Your players yesterday could not have had better execution on the defensive side of the football. And Jalen Hurts, just absolutely unbelievable. Well-deserving of the MVP award. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Farzy Show YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Jacob Media YouTube channel. Like and subscribe on the Seth Joyner Show YouTube channel. And like and subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, where yours truly has your Phillies coverage and your 76ers coverage. So make sure you guys check me out on there as well. Thanks, everyone. I got to get over to Fox. As Danny's saying here, peace out, everybody. Peace. Go Birds. See you guys tomorrow.